Good evening, everyone. Myself, Dr. Kavalpreet. I am with you for taking your subject of PPL. Okay, let me start the PPT. As you remember that what we have done in the last lecture, we have done type of conversion, type checking, and type equivalence. What we have learned in type equivalence, name equivalence, and structure equivalence, right? That was the type equivalence. Type checking, we have static type checking and dynamic type checking. Now the third topic was type conversion, that we have an implicit conversion and explicit conversion, right? So now let's start with the unit 6. And then we have done the structure union and array structure and union. So this was the topic. Good evening, Aman, Bhumin, Chandan. How are you all? All good. Let's start with the today's session.
Ma'am, you are not.
Now I am visible to everyone. Okay, this is where now we are going to start unit 6, that is sequence control with expression and conditional statements. So what was the content for this? So in the learning, first of all, we will go through the learning objectives. Then comes to the introduction, sequence control, level of sequence control, sequence control with the expressions. Then we will control the evaluation of expressions. Then expressions tree, syntax for expression. Issues is evaluating expression, sequential control within statement, and then conditional statement we have. What is the learning objective of this unit? So we will define and differentiate the expression and the conditional statement in the programming. So we will define and differentiate between expression and the conditional statement in the programming. Then we will demonstrate the use of expression to calculate the values and assign them to the variables, right? We will demonstrate the use of expressions to calculate the values and assign them to the variables. Then we will utilize the conditional statements, if else, and switch case statement. That is based on a different condition. Then we will identify the common mistakes and the errors that that is associated with the expression and the conditional statement. Then we apply the concept learned to solve a real world problems, programming problems, right? Now comes to the introduction part. Sequence control is a process of controlling the order in which the instruction or the tasks are executed in a program. So sequence control is the process of controlling the order in which the instructions or the tasks are executed. Sequence control क्या होता है बेटा? Like when you are writing a program, so that is instruction by instruction it is, right? As when you are writing the instruction one by one, so that will instruction will be executed in the sequence. So that is your sequence control, means controlling the order of the program. So how the instruction is executing one by one in sequence, that is the task of a program. Now in programming, sequence control is achieved through the use of various programming constructs. How the sequence control is to be achieved? Through the loops, through conditional statements, and function calls. So ability to control the sequence of instruction is essential in a programming. Why it is essential? Sequence of instruction क्यों होनी चाहिए programming में? Because it enables the programmer to achieve a desired outcome or result. So that the programmer can achieve a desired outcome or a result. So without the sequence control, a program would execute instruction in a undefined order. So if it is no sequence control is there, then the program will execute it. कैसे execute होगा program? In undefined order. There is no sequence order is there. So that will sometime it will give you the incorrect results or unpredictable behavior, right? Now, first of all, what is sequence control? Control structure are fundamental components of a programming language that will facilitate the organization and integrate of the operations and the data in a program. So this is control structures. What is control structure? That is facilitate the organization and integration of the operation and data into a program. Now the sequence control structure governs the ordering of operations to be executed. So sequence control structure, how it is governing the order of operations. Sequence control structure governs the ordering of operations to be executed, while the data control structure governs the transmission of data among the subprogram within a program. So these structures are critical in enabling the programmer to create efficient and effective program to accomplish a desired task. So if you want to accomplish any of the desired task, what you need to do that? You have to follow some structure that is efficient and effective. So what are the four main categories we needed for the sequence control in a programming language? First of all, we need expressions. So these are the basic building block of statement in a program. Expression क्या है बेटा? If I'm writing a plus b into c, so this is a combination of variables. Constants भी आ गए इसमें, operators भी आ गए आपके, according to the syntax of the language. So how you solve the expression? By using of precedence rules. Precedence rules क्या होते हैं बेटा? BODMAS rules. First the bracket will solve, then the order wise we have to be write down. And then first of all, in the expression, the first priority we have for solving it is the parenthesis. Parenthesis determine how expressions are evaluated. Is this clear? Continue this BS then. Neetu, what do you want to say? Okay. Expression is clear. In the four main categories, देखो control structure क्या है? किसी भी structure of program, how it is to be controlled, how the flow of control will move in the program. So that is always it is in the sequence of order, or sometime we have a function, then we have to jump on a out of the order also. So ordering of operations to be executed. So data control structure governs the transmission of data among the subprogram within a program. So data जो control flow है आपका control structure जो है that will govern or that will work how we will jump to the function and then within the program. So the four main categories of sequence control we have in a programming languages. First is expression. Second, we have a statements. Second, what we have? Statements in a program that determine the how control flows from one part of the program to another. So statements in a program determine how the control flows from one part of the program to another. So these can be conditional or iterative depending on the logic of the program. So statements can be conditional or iterative, that will depending on the logic of the program. Third, we have a declarative programming. Statement are clear? How control flows one part of the program to another. Statement आपकी conditional भी हो सकती है, iterative भी हो सकती है. That will depend logic of the program. Third, we have a declarative programming. So this is an execution model of programming that is independent of program statements. The logic programming model of Prolog is an example of declarative programming. So where we have a independent program statements for the declaration, so that we called as a declarative programming. Sub program क्या होता है? Because in a structured programming, program is divided into the smaller modules, smaller sections. That small sections we called as a subprogram. So subprogram can be called in the main function repeatedly and transfer the control from one part of the program to another. Coroutines are also the type of subprogram that allow for cooperative multitasking. So, beta, these all four, I will explain it with the help of example also. So, don't worry that ma'am is reading only the theory. I'm not reading the theory. I will explain with the example also. Wait. In the coming slides, the things will be clear to you. Okay. So wait. So there are two types of sequence control structure we have in a programming language. First we have implicit and second we have explicit. So in the implicit sequence control structure are those that are already defined by the programming language. So they are used by default unless modified explicitly by the programmer. So that is to be implicit sequence control are by default. We need to be explicitly specified by the programmer. So example of implicit structure is the physical sequence in which the statements are executed. So implicit structure कौन सा हो गया आपका? That is the physical sequence in which the statements are executed, right? So implicit sequence control structure are those that are already defined by the programming language. Next, we have a explicit sequence control structure. These are optional. These are optional and can be used by the programmer. So implicit to automatic hai. By default it is. So that is unless till that it will be by default. जब तक कि programmer will not change it explicitly. Okay. जो भी physical sequence आपके statements are you are writing it in the program that is your implicit sequence control. जिस भी form में जिस भी उसमें sequence में you are writing a program that is your implicit sequence control structure. Explicit sequence control are optional. This is only be used by the programmer to when you want to modify the implicit. Implicit मतलब जो by default वाली उसको जब आप change करना चाहते हो that we called as a explicit sequence control structure. So these structures include the parenthesis within the expression or use the go to statement and the labels. So go to, if we will get a go to after any sequence of statement, we देखो देखिए 10 instructions, 10 statements I have written in a program. So in a sequence, if one of the statement is related to the go to statement it is. So you will jump on that particular label with the go to statement. So implicit sequence control structure are defined by the programming language, used by default unless modified explicitly. Explicit sequence control structure are optional and used by the programmer when you want to modify the implicit sequence control of operations. Example include the use of parentheses within the expression and go to statement and labels. So these are the examples of a parentheses with expression and go to statement and the labels. Is this clear? Implicit and explicit sequence control structures. So next we have a level of sequence control. First, I have already explained you expressions. So how the program operates are executed. ये level of sequence control है आपके. What kind of level of sequence control comes in a program? Sometime expressions की form में, sometime it is in the statements, sometime it is in the form of declarative programming, sometime we have a subprograms. Uh, This I have already explained you. So level of sequence control, these define how the data is manipulated in a program. Using precedence rules and the parentheses, you will solve the expression always in the program by using the precedence rules and the parentheses. So the expressions are always evaluated left to right. And parentheses in the expression, first of all, what you have to solve. Parentheses can be used to the override the default order of operations. Statements चाहे वो कंडीशनल स्टेटमेंट है या फिर आइटरेशन स्टेटमेंट है आपकी लाइक इफ व्हाइल आइटरेशन लाइक फॉर लूप are used to control the sequence execution of a program. So these statements make decision based. So whatever the decision or the condition it is, decision based on a specific condition, and on the basis of the condition, they are repeating the set of instruction in a program. Declarative programming. This is an execution model that does not depend on order of the statement in the source program. Instead, it focuses on describing the what it is focusing on the desired outcome or the result. So the program then works to achieve the that outcome. So program then works to achieve that outcome that we called as a declarative programming. Subprograms. These are used to transfer control from one program to another that we called as a subprogram. A subprogram can be called by a program to perform a specific task. So subprogram how you are calling the subprogram to perform a specific task. So like I have made a add subprogram बना दिया मैंने for adding the two numbers. So what how the within the main function when you will call this particular function or the subprogram that will perform the function like add, after adding it will return the result. So once the task is completed, control returns to the calling program. Calling program कौन हो गया पे main function and who's calling it, that is your subprogram. So this allow the program to be broken down into the smaller and more manageable pieces. Now next we have a sequence control with expression. How the sequence control will be handled with the expression. So if we have a arithmetic expression, that means we have numerical values, variables, and function call along with the arithmetic operators. So this type of expression is constructed by combining these elements in a way that confirms the rule of arithmetic operators. Now see how this arithmetic expression can be evaluated. When evaluating the arithmetic expression, the process typically follows the two key principle. Firstly, the arithmetic expression is evaluated from left to right. Secondly, we have a rules of operator precedence are applied to determine the order of operations. Secondly, we have a rules of operator precedence are applied to determine the order of operations. In cases where the expression contains parentheses, the sub expression enclosed within the parentheses is evaluated before any other operation. कोई भी ऑपरेटर है पहले मल्टीप्लिकेशन की होती है फिर प्लस की फिर माइनस की that in this way they are solving it. So first of all what we are solving before any other operation, we are solving in the expression the parenthesis. Bracket solve होती है पहले that you know ना. And how the expression is evaluated, arithmetic expression left to right. Relational expression is expression that includes a relational operator or arithmetic expression that includes a arithmetic operators, numerical values, variables. Okay, which compare two operands. Relational में क्या होता है? We are always comparing the two values. Two operands को होता है A greater than B, B greater than C, B less than C. So two operands are comparing and returns the result in the form of Boolean value. Boolean value क्या होती है आपकी? Either true or false. A greater than the B. Either this is true or it is false. It is composed of किससे बना है ये? Operand से और relational operator से that are combined in a meaningful way. फॉर एग्जाम्पल देखिए एक्सप्रेशन a plus b greater than c and c less than b are both the example of relational expression. These expressions are used to test whether a certain relationship exists between the value of the operands or not. So they are finding out the relationship between the operands. Operands किसको कह रहा है ये a b c. These are the operands. Plus is a arithmetic operator and greater than is the sign of a relational operator. And it will gives the result in the form of true or false. Now, how you are doing the evaluation of arithmetic expression? Sorry, relational expression. When evaluating a relational expression, the first priority always given to the relational operator less than and greater than. Then having a next priority, we have greater than equal to and less than equal to. While the second priority is given to the, these are having the same priority. Then second priority we are given to double equal to. This is a sign of equal to and this is a sign of, see the cursor position on the screen, not equal to. Okay, so however, the arithmetic operators take precedence over the relational operator. So as a result, the resulting expression will be of integer type, whether true. So how it will gives the result in the form of integer type. So true means 1 and false is represented by 0. Is this clear? Third, we have a sequence control with expression, a logical expression we have. So that is the expression that utilize the logical operators. What they are utilizing? Logical operators. So such as expression is typically formed by the two or more relational expression. How? See the example of logical expression is a greater than b and this and is a logical expression. Just hold on. Yes. So this type of expression plays a crucial role in programming as it allows developers to create a complex decision-making process based on the value of a variables and other inputs. Means A greater than B is true, B less than C is also true. True and true, that will make a true. So this is a logical expression. So we will evaluate the two relational expression here. For combining the logical expression, we need a two relational expression. So how you will evaluate the logical expression? कैसे programming में कैसे logical expression कैसे evaluate करोगे? We have a one of two outcomes, either true or false. These expression can consist of various logical operators, including and, or, not. So these are the three symbols of a logical expression. When evaluating a logical expression, the not operator is evaluated first. First, we are evaluating the not operator, then followed by the and operator, and finally we have a or operator. So this is the precedence of solving the logical expression. I think it is clear to you. Now, how to control the evaluation of expression? This is the precedence, or you can say the priority. When the expression comprises of the multiple operators, the operator with a higher precedence is evaluated first. ये आपको पता ही है, जब भी आप expression को solve करते हो, either you are in solving in maths or in computers, you have to be higher precedence operator, you have to be evaluated first. Then we have a lower precedence. So this helps in determining the order in which the operations are performed, ensuring the intended result is achieved. So operator precedence rule for expression evaluation define the order in which the adjacent operators of the different precedence levels are evaluated. So typical precedence level we have, first we solve parenthesis, then we have a unary operator, then we have a, this is for the square root, then multiplication, division, and they both have the same priority, multiplication and division. Then we have a plus and minus that is also having the same priority. Just a second. आपको यही पता व्हाइट सॉक्स पहन की अच्छा और आप किचन में कितना पानी दिया नहीं लेके बुक से बैठ कर ले नहीं क्या मुंह का मैं Now, then we have a second sequence control with expression is, first we have a precedence for controlling the evaluation of expression. Second, we have a associativity. So operator with the same presence level are evaluated in the specific order. How we are evaluating? अगर multiplication भी है, division भी है, we have in the same order. Then how you will evaluate it? So for that we will evaluate the expression left to right. From right to left depend on their associativity. So operators are evaluated mostly left to right, except for certain operators. किस operator से case में we are evaluating the right to left? When we have a unary plus, minus, increment, decrement, then we are evaluating right to left. Logical note, bitwise and. So if these operators are there in the expression, then we will solve right to left. Additionally, assignment operators such as we have a, कौन कौन से assignment operator है हमारे पास? Equal to, plus equal to, multiply equal to, division equal to, and modulus equal to are also evaluated right to left. ये वाले operator भी right to left solve होते हैं, which means the right hand side of the operator is evaluated before the left hand side. Next, we have a expression tree. एक्सप्रेशन ट्री क्या होता है बेटा? सो वेयर द मेन ऑपरेटर अपीयर एट द टॉप मोस्ट पार्ट ऑफ द ट्री एंड सर्विंग एज इट इज रूट. So this method of representation allow for a clear and a structured visualization of the expression for the comprehension and analysis. Expression tree is a type of binary tree that represents a mathematical expression in which each internal node serve as the operator. जो internal node होंगे ट्री के वो सर्व करेंगे ऑपरेटर की तरह, और जो लीफ नोड होंगे, लीफ नोड मतलब जो लास्ट नोड होंगे वो होंगे आपके ऑपरेंड, राइट? So to evaluate the expression tree, we first need to construct it based on the given expression. That will be based on the given expression. So as an example, we have, if we have expression a into b plus c divided by d. So plus और division की क्या है? They are having the same priority, but we are solving the expression from left to right. So we can represent this expression using an expression tree. Operator are the internal nodes and operands क्या है हमारे इसमें? A, B, C, D. ये operands हैं और multiplication plus और division क्या है? Operator है. So लीफ नोड क्या बनेंगे आपके? ऑपरेंड्स. और जो इंटरनल नोड्स होंगे वो क्या बनेंगे आपके? ऑपरेटर. नाउ सी हाउ यू विल रिप्रेजेंट इट. सी दिस इज द रिप्रेजेंटेशन. Before, when you are evaluating left to right, so plus I told you this is on the top as a root node, we will consider it. The main operator यहाँ लिखा है, the main operator appears at the topmost part of the tree serving as its root. तो यहाँ पे कौन सा है main operator हमारा? Addition. Because here we have a expression, here we have a expression, then in between we have a addition. So this will be in the top. Internal nodes आपके क्या हो गए? Operator हो गए. और जो operands हैं आपके A, B, C, D, that these are the leaf node of the tree. Is this clear? Is this clear to everyone? Kindly give me the feedback so that I'll start the next topic. Thanks, Bhumin, for your feedback. Tell me, beta. Now, next for the syntax for the expression, we have three types of expression we are having. Okay. Okay, beta Jayant. Okay, Ritik. So three type of expression we have: prefix notation, postfix, and infix notation. Clear? Prefix, postfix, and infix. Right? Now I am explaining all these three to you. Prefix क्या होता है बेटा? Is the named after the Polish mathematician Jan, and that involves the placing the operator symbol before its operands. प्रीफिक्स में क्या होता है? पहले ऑपरेटर आ जाता है फिर ऑपरेंड्स आते हैं. देखो जैसे मल्टीप्लाई पहले एक्स वाई माइनस ए बी. ठीक है. सो इफ वी हैव डिवीजन मल्टीप्लिकेशन ए बी माइनस सी डी, दिस इज द एग्जाम्पल ऑफ एक्सप्रेशन इन अ प्रीफिक्स नोटेशन. ये एग्जाम्पल है आपका किसका? प्रीफिक्स नोटेशन का, कि पहले इसमें ऑपरेटर्स हैं फिर ऑपरेंड्स हैं. नाउ फॉर एग्जाम्पल वी आर हैविंग दिस काइंड ऑफ एक्सप्रेशन, डिवीजन इनटू ए बी माइनस सी डी. So in prefix, so prefix में क्या आता है? पहले operator and a, then we have a operand. So is this clear? How you are writing the prefix notation? Tell me. Okay, like we are having a into b division c minus d. तो हम क्या करेंगे? तो मेन जो ऑपरेटर था वो तो it will come in the starting, then multiplication between a b that will come in the starting of the operand, then c minus d, that minus will come in the starting of the operator. Clear? Now next we have a postfix notation that places the operator symbol after its two operands, जो operands के बाद लगे. So for example, AB into XY are the expression in a postfix notation. So first operand and then operator will come in the postfix. Infix में क्या है बेटा? This is suitable for the binary operations. So here the placing the operator symbol between the two operands. So this is infix notation is the most commonly notation in mathematics and everyday language we are using it. So these are the specification of elementary data types. Now come to the sequence control within the statement. What is sequence control within a statement? That is the order in which the instructions within a single statement are executed. This is a very important concept of a language. It affects the outcome of the program and how efficiently it runs. So in which each statement in a program is executed one after the other. Sequence control क्या होता है बेटा? एक के बाद एक statement का execute होना in the order in which they appear. So it means that the program will execute the first statement, then it will execute the second statement, and until it reaches the end of the program. So we have a sequence control statement in a program. So like in many programming language, statements are separated by a semicolon. That indicate the कि end of one statement हो गई है, now the beginning of the next. So for example, how you are writing it? So this you can write down also in some of the programming languages. You can write in the three statements you can write down in the one statement. So these three statements are executed in sequence. X is equal to 1, y is equal to 2, then z is equal to सेमिकोलन क्या बता रहा है, ये एंड होगी एक स्टेटमेंट. दिस इज सेकंड एंड ऑफ सेकंड स्टेटमेंट. नाउ z is equal to x plus y. This is are executed in the sequence. So first x is assigned the value 1 and then y is assigned the value 2 and finally the z is assigned the sum of x and y which is 3. So the sequence control within a statement. So within a single statement we have we can write down the sequence control. Sequence control matlab many statement we can write down. So that will, if we are writing in a one single statement, then also it will be executed in a sequence one by one in a sequence control. Is this clear? Now we have some basic statements. Okay. First we have a assignment statement. Assignment statement कौन सी होती है बेटा? जब आपको right hand side value you want to assign to the left hand side. So there we are using the assignment statement. Means assigning the value to a variable. So if I am writing a is equal to 10, means 10 I am assigning to the variable a. So the assignment operator which is used for this purpose. So the compound assignment operators plus is equal to which can be used to add a value to an existing variable. For example, इनका बोल the statement move a to b. Assign the value. क्या assign कर रहा है ये move operation क्या बता रहा है? That you have to assign the value of a to b. Is this clear? Now input output statement. Input output statement are used to interact with the user or with the external devices. So input output statement are interacting with the user or with the external devices. The printf function is commonly used to the. So input output statement कौन सी होती है? जैसे C में है, we have a input statement scanf and for output we are using the statement printf, right? Like in C++ we are using cin for input and cout for the for printing the result. So the printf function is commonly used for the output operation, where the scanf function is used to read input from the user. So these statements are commonly used in a programming language like C and C++. Declaration statement होती है program में. So these are the basic statements we have in a program. Declaration is used to declare a variable at the function before it is used in the program. So compiler interpreter allocating the memory to the variable or the function so that they will be run correctly in the program. For example, the statement int age. इसका मतलब क्या है? You are declaring the variable age is of type integer. Fourth statement that you are declaring it or that you are using it in a program, that is go to statement. This allows the program to jump to a different part of code. Like if I am writing it go to 10. So on the 10th line, so after the third line, if the fourth line you have written in a program, go to 10. So it will not execute the fifth line. It will jump to the 10th line in a program based on a condition. So the use of go to statement is generally discouraged. We are discouraging this type of statements in a program because it makes the code difficult to read and understand. Is this clear? नेक्स्ट स्टेटमेंट हमारे पास है ब्रेक स्टेटमेंट. दिस इज अलाउ फॉर एन अर्ली एग्जिट फ्रॉम द लूप. लूप में से जब आप अर्ली एग्जिट करना चाहते हो, देन यू आर यूजिंग द ब्रेक स्टेटमेंट. व्हेन द ब्रेक स्टेटमेंट इज एग्जीक्यूटेड विद इन अ लूप, द लूप इज टर्मिनेटेड immediately. The program execution continues with the statement immediately after the loop. So the break statement is commonly used in the loop constructor. कहाँ use करते हैं? Where we are using the break statement? We are using with the for loop and while loop, where the exit condition for the loop may not be known until the loop has started. So fifth also clear, break statement. Then we have a statement level sequence control. Implicit मैं आपको explain कर चुकी है already. Then we have a explicit. So in the implicit, what we are using it? The alternation type, composition type, and iteration type. This is the standard form of implicit, where the statement are executed in the order of execution. Each statement is executed one after the other in the sequence as they appear in the program. वो हो गया आपकी composition type, how you are composing the program. Alternation type is like two alternate statement sequence in the program. The program choosing one of the sequences but not both at the same time. जैसे हम if else use करते हैं, if condition If condition is true, then the block of code will be executed, statement will be executed. Otherwise, the else statement will be executed. So alteration type is a if else statement. Iteration type. So this is the gives a normal sequence to the statement, but the sequence repeats itself more than one time. If I'm writing while I less than 10, so the I value will be incremented every time and it will be goes up to 9 because I have written I less than 10. If I will write I less than equal to 10, then the loop will go up to 10. So this is commonly used in a programming language that supports a loop construct. जहाँ पे for loop, while loop we are using it, there we use the iteration type. So these three are the implicit sequence control in a program. Explicit कौन सा होगा? When you are using the go to statement to jump to a different part of the program, but it is dangerous statement because it leads to a spaghetti code or make the program difficult to understand and maintain. So if 13 is executed, the program jumps to the labeled statement else in the program, ignoring all statement in between. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So the all are skipped and all are ignored. Directly we are executing the 13th statement. Now use of break statement that I've already explained to you for early exit of the from the loop that we are using the break statement. थर्ड सीक्वेंस कंट्रोल है हमारा स्ट्रक्चर्ड. स्ट्रक्चर्ड क्या है बेटा? When you are structured way, so primary goal of the structured sequence control is to make program more readable, understandable, and easier to maintain. Such as to by avoiding or we want to avoid the condition of structured sequence control. So what is there in the structured sequence control? Compound statement. So like when you have a collection of two more statement that may be treated as a single statement. Abhi I have told you when I have written x is equal to 1, y is equal to 2, and then z is equal to x plus y. So that was the example of compound statement. So in the C and Pascal we are using it. A compound statement is enclosed within the begin and end keywords, while in C it is enclosed in the braces. Conditional statements is also the part of structured sequence control. Conditional means if statement, if else statement, if else statement, nested if else हो गया आपका, and switch statement. So these all are the part of conditional statement. So I'm not explaining it here all if else because I have explained with the example. So with the syntax and the example I have explained in the coming slides. Just see there. Next, we have a iteration statement. There we have a do while, and for statement. Here, this also I'm not explaining. I'm not reading it because I will explain it with the help of example. Now here, the explanation start of the statements here. Conditional statement है हमारे पास पहले. Now in the conditional statements, the programming construct that allow a program to execute a different block of code based on a certain condition. The basic structure of a conditional statement is as follows. If condition, then code to execute if the condition is true. Can you please help me with the assignment after class? What should I do? Very much. I will help you out. Just share the questions with me. I will guide you better. Through chat box only we can communicate it. So in the conditional, what is the basic structure of a conditional statement? Like if I am talking about a if statement. So if condition, then the block of code will be executed. If the condition is an expression that evaluate to be true or false. If the condition is true, the block of code executed in the curly braces. If the condition is false, the block of code is skipped. So the program execution continues within the statement immediately after the if statement. So there are several types of conditional statement in the programming language we are having, like if statement. So this is the simplest form of conditional statement and it allows the program to execute a block of code if the condition is true. So if the condition is true, then only this block of code between the curly braces will execute it. Otherwise, it will not execute it. See here, I have explained it properly. If condition true, then block of code will be executing. Okay, if condition false, then after the block of code, whatever the statement we are writing it, then that rest of the code will be executed. If condition do something, After braces, then we have a rest of the code. So if it is the condition is true, then do something statement will execute it. If it is a false, then after closing braces, whatever you have written, the rest of the code will be executed. So with the example also I have explained to you. Int num is equal to 10. Like num is a variable of integer type and we have assigned a value 10. Assignment operator use किया ना बेटा यहाँ पे. So 10 we are assigning to the num and then put semicolon. If num is greater than 0, we need to printf the number is positive. Okay, so in this example, the program check whether the value of the num is greater than 0. So if the condition is true, the program prints the number is positive. Else, if else statement hoti to क्या आता? So the statement allows the program to execute a different block or a code if the specified condition is false. If it is after if closing of a if statement, if I have written else part of the statement also if we are writing it. So if the condition is true, then this will execute it. Otherwise, it will execute the else part, right? So this session is over here. So we have learned the sequence control. Okay, we have learned level of sequence control here. Then we have learned the sequence control with expressions. So these are the review questions we are having. Define sequence control, differentiate between explicit and implicit sequence control, various type of expressions we have learned, concept of precedence and association, difference between prefix, postfix and infix, define the expression tree, how it is to be used in the programming. Then we have to be identify and explain the different types of conditional statements, if else, switch statement. So these all I will explain you in the next unit, all will come in the elaborate form. So now two question I have read of every chapter, the two questions I am posting it in the last with the answers. The question is what define expression tree, explain how it is used in the programming to optimize and simplifies the expressions. So with the answer, I have mentioned it. Expression tree is a binary tree that represent arithmetic expression in a structured way. It is used to evaluate it and manipulate and simplify the expression. So first we have a structure. Expression tree is a binary tree with the leaf node representing operands and internal nodes are the operators. So this is a structure of a expression tree. Evaluation कैसे होता है इसमें? By traversing the tree in a specific order. How we are traversing the tree? Traversing का मतलब होता है सर्चिंग. सर्चिंग कैसे करते हो ट्री में? इवेल्यूशन कैसे करते हो ट्री में? अगर कुछ मुझे ढूंढना है, इफ आई वांट टू सर्च इट और फाइंड आउट इट, हाउ यू विल डू इट? आइदर यू विल यूज द इन ऑर्डर, पोस्ट ऑर्डर और प्री ऑर्डर. So this allows for the efficient and the recursive evaluation. Manipulation. अगर आपको manipulation करना है, then expression tree can be used to convert the expression. How you will manipulate it? Expression from infix to postfix. We are converting the expression from infix to postfix or a prefix notation and vice versa. So that we call as a manipulation. Simplification. Expression tree can be used in computer algebra system and symbolic computation software to simplify the algebraic expression. So that we call as a simplification. So expression tree can be used in algebra system. So symbolic computation software to simplify the algebraic expression, that is called as a simplification. Compiler and interpreters. So expression tree are used to represent a program's syntax tree in a compiler and interpreter. This make it easier to evaluate and manipulate the logic and structure. To construct an expression tree, you have to use a stack for each character in the input expression. You can push the character onto the stack if it is operand. If it is you are finding the operand, you will put in the stack. Pop when the two values from the stack if the character is an operator. If you already you have a two values in the stack, two operands are in on the stack and then operator will come, then what you will do? You make them the child node of the current node and push the current node back into the stack. The root of the expression tree will only be the element remaining in the stack. You will keep only the root of the expression tree in the stack. Rest you will जैसे ही two operands के बाद operator will come, you just pop up all the value and you will evaluate it. And at the end you will be getting a root element only in the stack. So now next question we have a differentiate between explicit and implicit. Just a second everyone. थोड़ा प्याज डाल दो. Yes, now explicit and implicit sequence control. So explicit sequence control is if x is equal to 5, if x is greater than 0, that means print x is positive. Dekho, this is the example of if else. If condition is true, then it will print x is positive, else otherwise it will print x is not positive for I in range 5. So if the I value is between the range of 5, then print I. So this is the explicit sequence control. Explanation क्या है? If statement explicitly, if x is positive, execute the what we are executing the corresponding block of code on the condition. The for loop also explicitly iterate the number range of numbers controlling the execution flow. So this is the example of implicit. Name is Alice, so it will print hello plus name. So क्या आ जाएगा hello Alice. It will print how are you today. So this hello and this will be executed in the order they appear in the code. जैसे जैसे ये order में आए हैं ये program में in that way only it will be executed one after the other. So without any explicit control structure dictating the sequence. So there's no explicit control here. Yes or no? Explicit control is more flexible because you can change it according to the program flow or on the basis of the condition. Explicit is more flexible. Implicit is simpler for the basic operation. When you want to execute the something, execute a program in a straightforward way, so you will for the concise and for the better readability, you will use implicit control. Otherwise, you will use the explicit control. So, so this is explicit sequence control. If x is greater than 0, this else otherwise else this will be. So this is explicitly we have. So means by that is this is not by default. This is based on a condition, right? There no condition we have implicit में क्या है? We have not put any condition. Only the sequence by statement will be executed. But in explicit we that is based on a condition. So that according to the condition the statement will be executed. If the condition is true, then this will be executed. Otherwise, it will execute the else part. Is this clear to everyone? Thank you for listening to me and for attending the lecture. So I have completed today the topic of sequence control statements. Sequence control with the expression and the conditional statements. Okay. Then next week we will do the chapter loops and exception handling. I'm just showing you so that the things will be clear to you. See here. Yes. Conditional statements. So I've already explained you if else, right? But you will think ma'am has not explained us do while for loop. So in chapter 7 I will elaborate or I will explain it properly with the example for do while, their syntax, their example, and then I will explain the topic of exception handling in this chapter in the coming week. Okay, so don't worry, I will explain it properly to you, so you can understood all the things. So tell me if you have any query, because time is about to over, so that we will end up the session. Thank you, Kushbu, for listening to me. I hope it is fruitful for you, for everyone of today's lecture. So, okay, thank you for listening to me. And just if you have question related to the assignments, kindly share it with me. so that I will give a reply of that. Who want to ask the assignment question? Who was asking? Any question is there? Tell me. Okay. If you have any other question, just ask me next week. I will take your queries. Okay. Bye bye, everyone.